Hello, it's that time again. Get up, get off the couch, and tackle your own to-do list. I am your host, Bob Asadorian. Welcome to Just Ask Bob Live, the interactive home improvement show. This show has two goals in mind, always. Number one, DIY, to get you motivated and get you up and off the couch to tackle your own to-do list. Episode by episode, we're going to teach you how to tackle just about everything. Whether it's something small, correcting or replacing a flapper on your toilet, changing a cartridge on your Moen faucet, climbing the roof for at least an inspection, cleaning the gutters, and right to the kitchens, basements, and bathrooms. Now, if for whatever reason you refuse to get up and off the couch, maybe the ladder's not quite tall enough to get you to the roof, or you don't want to try it, that's fine. We are going to continually demystify the process of finding the right contractor for you and your home. That's important because realistically, you only have two choices to maintain your home and repair it or remodel it. Do it yourself or hire out. Now, speaking of hiring out, number one is the licensing. At least my municipality, Hamilton, Ontario, has a license in effect. Throughout the province of Ontario, many municipalities have the license requirement, and sadly, some municipalities do not. So that's important. Up on your screen now, you should be seeing my license. Unlike other reality television shows, the host today is actually licensed. Now, if we coin a phrase here of a proper foundation, you're going to meet a contractor, you're going to develop a foundation for the relationship and for the work that's going to be done. It doesn't get any better than a foundation of trust and a foundation of the contractor having a license. Couple of quick tips, things people need to know about the license. Number one, the city will not even allow the contractor to write the examination or apply unless he or she passes a valid police clearance. So now that should speak for itself, and it should speak volumes. The right contractor for you and your home may be in your home from well before you leave for work in the morning and still may be pounding nails or screws into the walls and floors till after you've arrived back home from work. So it's a matter of trust. It's a matter of your property, your valuables. The police clearance counts. There's a reason why the City Trade Exam Board checks for police clearance before allowing him or her to write the exam. Speaking of the exam, right behind me, Ontario Building Code, the Bible for home renovations. Open book exam worth 2 hours. That's where the prospective contractor proves himself to the municipality with a minimum passing mark of 70%. City finally also checks for commercial liability insurance, and that matters because he's working in your home, he can cause issues, he can cause problems. I'm sure many of you are familiar with what I like to call the grumpy contractor or the unlicensed overcharging contractor, the man that while he's in your home, a guest on your property, working for you, you ask him one question, he barks the answer. You ask him a second question, his bark's even louder, and that's intimidation, folks. He's basically telling you, leave me alone. That's not the fellow you want. You don't want somebody dragging mud through your home. You don't want any issues. Now, this program is interactive. Think of it as two parts. Number one, the part I love, the fun, the sawdust kicking up, is the rental footage. It is in response always to a viewer's email. So you send my office an email. We can't promise to get rental footage to match every question, but we do our best to answer those questions through this show. Next, what happens is the program's interactive. So first half of the show, we answer the viewer's question by playing the footage. Second half of the program, get your home rental questions ready. Live here in studio. Email them at askbob@cable14.com. Tweet Bob at justaskbob, or I'm old school. Pick up the phone. I welcome your call. 905-645-3232, and you can hit Bob with just about anything, from the foundation to the roof and everything in between. Have a dispute with your contractor, have an issue, did he take your deposit and run off? Bring it all to the show here. Now, speaking of a call, that's a special call because we're running a contest. You can win one of $50 Home Depot gift cards. It's call in and win. Again, one of four $50 Home Depot cards to get you up and off the couch to tackle your own to-do list. All you have to do, call into the show, hit Bob with your hardest home rental questions. Full contest details, please go to cable14.com Bob contest. So we're going to launch off with our rental footage here today, and this is the email that the rental footage is based on. Should be on your screen in a moment. Hello, Bob. My home has wood trim on the exterior, mainly around the windows, and I wish to refinish it. I don't like the look of aluminum capping. What types of primer and paint do you recommend? Also, I'm told I should prime and paint both sides. This is from Kyle in Hamilton. Kyle, thank you very, very much. We welcome your question. We had a job site where we were able to capture the footage and put this together for you. Now, let's talk a moment about history here in Hamilton, or history throughout the province. Generally speaking, aluminum capping has been around somewhere around 20 years. Prior to that, and even now, every home has wooden fascia. Back in the day, every home had wooden soffit. So when you look at that projection hanging over from your roofing shingles, the face part that you see is the face end, that's the fascia, obviously called fascia. The part underneath is the soffit. Back in the day, everything was wood. A lot of historic homes that were made out of stucco also had purposeful rough sawn lumber installed in a pattern around the home on the exterior. It was a look at the time. Windows back in the day, this is before vinyl windows or aluminum windows, all the window frames, door frames, everything was wood. Now, nothing's wrong with that, but you have to look at our climate. We have wetness here in Canada pretty well, more than you would, direct full dry days. So the wood does take a beating. Typically in the past, there were oil primers and paints for longevity. That's all phased out now to be more environmentally friendly. Either way, wood is nice. However, it requires maintenance, sometimes a lot of maintenance. I don't care what the paint can says, 25, 30, 40-year warranty, a lot of it's propaganda. Generally speaking, if you get 5 years, you're very, very lucky. And then you have two choices. You need an awful lot of time to scrape. You have to scrape off all the curling and peeling paint. Sometimes you have to patch and repair it. Then you have to prime it. Then you have to paint it. That's a lot of work. Or you could rip off the wood, if it's decorative wood or whatnot, and you can replace it. Now, that's why for the last 20 years, what builders are trying to do in Ontario specifically is give you a home that's maintenance-free. Everybody, I don't care who you are, everybody wants maintenance, maintenance-free. Now, mind you, there are hardcore people, and rightly so, older areas of the city, architectural homes, homes that it matters. Those homes wouldn't look good in aluminum capping. So the wood suits the home. Possibly some of them even have a heritage designation. But either way, you have choices. Now, on this particular job, I recommend, and you'll see in the program we used it, I recommend Sherwin-Williams. It's the finest stuff on the market. Now, the viewer's email, they mentioned priming both sides or painting both sides. It's actually all four sides. The front, the back, top and bottom edge. Everything has to be sealed with primer. And then you want to apply 2 coats of the highest quality paint you can afford. And then you have a good chance at lasting 5 years, maybe more. It depends, again, prevailing winds. Is it an area where the sun's hitting it and giving it a beating? So, again, it matters. Watch the footage. You'll see what was going on. On this particular job, we were stuck because the job called for us to replace the fascia. And unfortunately, this was a very odd home where the home's hydro service was mounted directly to the fascia. On most older homes, it comes out through the roof shingles. New subdivisions, you don't see the wires anywhere. It comes under the ground. This one, we had a problem. We were stuck. We called in our electrician, who most of you know has been on every one of our seasons. He helped us out, and then we show you how we refinish the wood. Enjoy the program, and don't forget, get your home rental questions ready. After this footage, live in studio, we resume to answer your questions. Enjoy the show. Welcome to our job site. We have a fun-packed, exciting episode for you today. We're in East Hamilton. We have a beautiful old home, somewhat of a heritage designation, but not exact. We're going to be showing you our woodworking, and we're a little bit stuck on the job today. In order to complete our woodwork, our fascia, we need my good friend here, John Tenbrink from the Wiring Pros. He's got the bucket lift here, and we're gonna take care of getting some hydro wires out of the way so Bob and the crew can complete their woodwork. Stay tuned, folks. Welcome to Just Ask Bob Live. As you can see, Bob's caught here, stuck on the job. My good friend John, appreciate it John, good friend Andy, they're here with the bucket lift to help us out. In order to get the fascia board off, we have to have the hydro service with the insulator removed out of the way. So these champs are going to take care of it. Stay tuned, folks.
What we're doing here, Bob,
Yes.
is we're going to be putting an insulator in here because the existing service is rubbing on this wall, so just going to keep it off of the fascia and the siding here, and everything's nice and safe.
So another word for the insulator would be a standoff. Somewhat.
Yeah, somewhat.
I mean, I'm not good with my terminologies, but for the viewers at home, you never want the cable or the service rubbing on the woodwork of the home.
No, you do not.
So this gives it a bit of a standoff.
Yep.
And it insulates as well.
Yep.
Excellent. All right, Andy, explain to the viewers what you've done now.
All right, guys. Well, we put our insulator in here. It's rated for 200 amps. It's a heavy-duty insulator. So what we did is we put it in here for when we do the service work here. Right now, it's just up here for just earlier bird gets the worm. It's already done. That'll make things a little faster when we come.
Excellent. And it assisted us in replacing the wood fascia.
Yep.
Good job, Andy. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Bob.
And now to one of our newest apprentices, Josh Coles, one of our finest. Josh, give the viewers a big warm welcome. Hello.
Hello, Hamilton. How are we doing?
Excellent. So Josh, tell the viewers a little bit about your history with my company. How did you start out with us?
So I started with Triple R as a co-op through my school. And, you know, unfortunately, my co-op began as soon as the pandemic hit, which kind of stopped and put that to a halt. But now Bob has me on his payroll. He's got me working for him full-time now, and I'm learning from the best.
Well, Josh, thank you for the compliment. I'm very happy to have you. Unfortunately, COVID had us part ways for a little bit till the pandemic eased up, and then we got busy and back at work. Now, tell the viewers what you're working on today.
Well, right now we're painting. We're primering right now. I'm getting a nice coat of primer on this wood. Gonna let it dry, and then after that we're gonna get a nice couple coats of brown on this piece of wood right here.
Okay, I've taught you well now. You keep doing what you're doing. Ignore me. I'm gonna zoom in on your work.
Perfect.
Well, what was the first thing I kept teaching you and hollering at you every time you were painting?
The way I'm holding the brush.
Yes, yes. Believe me, there is a right way and a wrong way to hold the brush. And I'm very proud. That's why we have you on the show today. Holding the brush is half the battle, literally. So on this job, this is called rough sawn, rough milled lumber. It's a true 1 inch. It's exactly 1 inch thick. These are the boards we're going to be installing on the home. We're literally priming all 4 sides, face, back, left and right edges. Nice coat of Zinsser primer. Then we're going to be coating them with brown. We've got a stack here. Let me just move over. This is a stack that Josh has already completed. And then eventually we're going to be installing these on the home. So we're applying 1 coat of primer and 2 coats of the brown paint. A nice semi-gloss, high quality exterior paint from our good friends at Sherwin-Williams. All right, Josh, boss is proud of you. You keep up the good work.
Thanks, Bob.
All right, we're back with Josh Coles here, Triple R's finest. Josh, give me a big thumbs up. Awesome. Okay, show the viewers how to power the miter saw here. You got your safety glasses?
These are my safety glasses, Bob.
Perfect, good job. Okay, 70 inches, please. I'm very proud of young Josh. We've taught him well here. Good job, Josh.
Thank you.
Up next, we're going to be teaching the viewers how to apply construction adhesive. Now, this is very important. As Bob's always said it, glue it and screw it. If you have an issue on either end, at least you've got 2 methods of attachment. All right, Josh, give it a nice bead now. Stay in the middle, though. Yeah, try to stay closer to the middle. We don't want to make a mess on the stucco. Slow down, press the trigger more. Don't be cheap with it. Nice, generous bead. All right, Bob's going to climb up to fire this on now. As you can see, the board's been pre-painted. Every single side. PL Premium construction adhesive on the back. Now we're going to set it into place. This is a concrete type of stucco, so we have to pre-drill before firing in the 3-inch wood screws. I've got hearing protection on, as this makes quite a racket. You only want to pre-drill till you've pierced the stucco. You don't want to go through too deep. It's a little awkward working up on the ladders. Fighting with the belt clips. You want to make sure to countersink it. Every single screw head needs to be countersunk and then filled in with putty. Now before we continue to our next one, we need to check for plumb. There we go. Now we're at the puttying stage. So as you can see, we've managed to install all the 1x boards in the exact same shape and style as they were, keeping with the home's architecture. Even the gable's been replaced, the fascia, after our electricians used the bucket lift to remove the piece, or to remove the electrical. Now I'm trying to give you a tight shot now to show you the putty work. We have a really nice exterior grade putty here. So you can see the white putty marks. Everything's being restored and then getting a final coat of paint. Josh, give us a big warm hello.
Hello.
All right, I'm gonna zoom in now on what Josh is holding. This is called Platinum Patch. Very, very high quality patch repair material, compound for exterior use. All right, Josh, let's time this well. Get a little bit on your putty knife. Don't apply it yet, please. Let me get in on an angle here. Okay, Josh, give it a hit. So you can see now, these are all the screw heads. Even going up the fascia, the gable. 2 coats of putty, 2 coats of paint. Here we go, folks, the finished product. As I always love to say, when it's a labor of love, it doesn't feel like it's work. And I was short-handed on this job. I could not have accomplished this without Triple R's newest and one of Triple R's finest, our apprentice, Josh Coles, who started off as a co-op student and is now proudly employed with us full-time. So as you can see, this is the south-facing wall of the home. This is where the sun and the rain and the sleet and the snow gave this wall the biggest beating. So everything you see in the screenshot here in this frame is brand new. All the vertical, all the horizontal 1x's. Done the right way. On the sawhorses, full coat of primer. Every side, 2 full coats of paint. And then after the installation, all the screw head holes were puttied, exterior grade wood filler, and another 2 coats of touch-up paint. This should hold up for many, many years to come. And in keeping with the home's architecture, we avoided having to clad anything with aluminum. It's a nice look, beautiful look for the home. Welcome back to Just Ask Bob Live. We're into the second half of the program, so get your home rental questions ready. 905-645-3232. That call enters you in our contest. We'll be right back after this break.
Are you free on Monday nights and looking for the hottest game in town? It's right here on Cable 14, Kiwanis TV Bingo, giving away a $5,000 prize board each and every week, all while supporting children and youth in Hamilton. See you Mondays at 7.
If you count on your network of friends for connection, Your network of colleagues for collaboration, your social network for sharing, or your TV network for entertainment. It's because you also count on your network. Learn more at networksyoucancountOn.ca.
Hi, I am Larry Deani, and I'm the host of In the Hall, which brings you each week some personalities that guide our fair city. Please tune in to find out what the latest issues are and be informed.
Welcome back to Just Ask Bob Live. Don't forget, askbob at cable14.com, Twitter at Just Ask Bob, or get up, get off the couch, 905-645-3232. We have an email here that came in a short while ago. Hello, Bob. I'm kicking my husband up and off the couch and right into our home's attic to replace our whining and squeaking bathroom exhaust fan, and I'm wondering what it will be like for him up in the attic. Any advice you can provide would be greatly appreciated. This is from Barbara from Ancaster. Barbara, love it. Love it that you're kicking him up and off the couch. Now, exhaust fans do annoy me. I can't stand crappy exhaust fans. I'll tell you right now without going too crazy into it, but average new home in Ontario, I don't care if you spend $500,000 or $1 million. More than often, if it's from a builder, you're getting a $50 fan. That fan does nothing but make noise. Absolutely nothing but make noise. You want a high-quality fan. Now, I see where you're going with this. You want to get an idea of what it's like in the attic. First of all, your husband needs to have some balance. He needs to be able to be okay to be in tight, cramped areas. Every attic is different. I've been in attics that are actually a joy. You can walk through it. Again, it depends on the architecture, the pitch, the style of the roof. So some attics, you can walk through them freely. Then it gets right to the worst, where you have to crawl and slither through the insulation. So you'll need a white suit on. You'll need preferably an N95 mask. And you have to be balanced. There's no ifs, ands about it. Your husband's going to be standing on the joists. If he misses, at the least, he's going to crack the ceiling. At the worst, he's going to land on whatever happens to be in the room underneath that area in the attic. So you have to be very, very careful. Now, fortunately for you, we pulled up some archive footage. This was season 5 of the Just Ask Bob show. We're on one of our job sites. We did exhaust fan installation. We've snipped the program down to the portion that deals with just inside the attic. So this is great. I think this will give you a very, very good idea of what's in store for your husband, and you can make an informed, educated decision. Are you going to DIY it yourself, or are you going to bring in a licensed contractor? Enjoy the footage. Get a load at this, viewers. Nearly 50 degrees Celsius. I'm not kidding you. It's hot. It's boiling hot in here today. So as you can see, for safety reasons, we're suited up. We've got the mask, obviously off while I'm yakking. Now, we talk a lot about DIY projects. Now, this can be done. You know, husband and wife team, have the children help out if they're old enough or willing. But you have to make sure that you're comfortable. You see these joists? This is what you walk on. This is what I'm kneeling on right now. Right here, that's your ceiling. You land here, you're going to go through into the bathroom or the bedroom or the hallway below you. So make absolutely sure that you're careful and you're safe and you can work here. Now, just for perspective's sake, we're going to give you a view of the length of this attic so you can get an idea at home what an attic looks like. So as you can see over to the one side, it's all rafters, it's all joists. Again, a possibility of either depending on your home's configuration. There's plumbing, there's venting pipes in the way, there's wiring. There's an awful lot of roofing nails. You have to be careful. You know, generally, if you're coming up into your attic, if you're safe to, you should inspect your attic annually, either yourself or bring in a licensed professional. You want to look at the roof decking. You want to make sure there's no mold. And you want to also make sure your attic insulation isn't missing large voids like this. Obviously, we've moved it out so we can get access to the fan. Now, we'll go over some of the components with you. We talked about this earlier before, about where the joists are located, or in this case, the trusses. We added one here. The reason for this one is so we could have a solid surface to screw the unit to. This is the ducting elbow on the one end. Now we've cut the vapor barrier, loosened it in order to get the unit up, so anytime you cut vapor barrier or you compromise its integrity, it's very important that you tape up the seams. Speaking of tape, we're only using real foil tape. So if it says duct tape, leave it on the shelf at the store. You want peel and stick foil tape. As you can see, we're trying to be organized. We cut some lengths. I've got them taped on the sides here so I can grab them. So this is the end that's going to exhaust out. This is the termination pipe at the roof. This leads into a rain cap. Now, I've been in many homes before where the exhaust fan is simply ducted into the attic space. Please, that is wrong. Don't ever do that. And insist when you hire a contractor, if your home didn't have an exhaust fan, that you cut through the roof to install it. Now, the ducting must be insulated. It's very important that it's insulated. This attic zone, opposite of today, obviously, in the winter time, generally speaking, if it's 30 below zero outside, it's going to be 30 below zero in the attic space. So that the hot air that flows through here, if it's not insulated, it'll cause condensation. So if you follow us, we're going to start on the one end here. We're going to very carefully slide it over. We're going to tape it all the way around. Now this is very important. No air bubbles, no air pockets. You've got to push the tape really well. You want to make absolutely certain that it's a nice seal. You've got to feel in for the bottom. Any leakage caused by improper taping or improper fastening will cause a pool of water inside your attic in the winter time. Again, it's all a matter of when hot meets cold. This is the actual tape that we're using. I hope you can see this clearly on your television screens. I like to peel one end to get some of it going. It can be fussy to remove the backing. You want to use small pieces at a time because this sticks to itself. And trust me, you don't want to be doing this in the hottest day of the year. Ideally, you want to do it in the fall, even the winter, or early spring. Unless your contractor's overbooked. Okay, now once it's taped up, we're going to pull the jacket over it. Now, equally as important as the insulation is the vapor barrier. Slide the vapor barrier over it. One end left. Now, as per the manufacturer's instructions, you don't want an instantaneous elbow. So they want approximately a foot of a straight run at the minimum, and then you change direction. You want to slide it over. The moment you've got it slid over, you want to pinch it with some tape. That way it stays intact. Twist it over. And that can happen. It will fall off on you. Again, you're working in a very tight area. There we go. As long as we got one piece to hold it. Now, I'm going to continue taping this. Oh, and before I forget, phenomenal. Big thanks to Frank Lorcella, Triple R's finest, who's on the camera, doing the zooming, and collecting this footage for our show. Thanks, Frank. Welcome back to Just Ask Bob Live. I hope that rental footage helps you make a decision on whether that is something in specific that you want to tackle yourself or hire out for. Now, that was many years ago. I was a little younger, but watching that footage still makes my knees hurt. There's not a lot of places to, maneuver yourself and to keep pressure on your legs, your ankles, or your knees. So it can be a little bit painful. But again, I hope that footage helped. We're going to be taking a quick break, but don't forget, we're in the second half of the program. Call 905-645-3232. Hit Bob with your hardest home rental questions, and that enters you automatically into our draw for a $50 Home Depot gift card. Stay tuned.
The Hamilton Chamber of Commerce has been Hamilton's voice of business for 175 years, and now we're going digital. Join us on Chamber TV every week as we discuss current business affairs, economic recovery, and local stimulus, only on Cable 14.
Mom, here's the mail.
Thanks, sweetie.
Mom, can I grab $20 from you today?
Yeah, sure, that's okay.
Cool, thanks.
Are you free on Monday nights and looking for the hottest game in town? It's right here on Cable 14, Kiwanis TV Bingo, giving away a $5,000 prize board each and every week, all while supporting children and youth in Hamilton. See you Mondays at 7.
Cancer connects us all. We all have a story to tell.
I was 13 years old when I first heard the word cancer.
Being diagnosed with colon cancer was an overwhelming shock.
This is me after my first clean scan.
I'm back to myself again.
Research, including clinical trials, helps to change the picture for cancer patients across Canada. Join Stand Up to Cancer Canada and the Canadian Cancer Society to learn more about the groundbreaking research that translates into life-saving treatments.
Welcome back to Just Ask Bob Live. We kick it off with another viewer's email. Hello, Bob. What is a safe way to remove mold on old brick from previous water damage? Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Michelle, for the email. Mold can be an interesting thing. I would say start off simple. Wear a mask, wear proper protection, gloves. Try mold. Try bleach. Try a solution of bleach. If that doesn't work, the big box stores do have products that you can use. Now, however, products that they sell are sort of on the light end of the scale. Everything's on the light end of the scale. Try that first because you're saving yourself money. Mold can be serious, though. I mean, it's interesting because, you know, I should put this out there that if you're really concerned, you should do an air quality test. I've rarely seen homeowners listen to my advice about air quality tests because the cost is expensive. But I mean, I put it out there for you. If you have respiratory issues, if anybody in your family has respiratory issues, and again, assuming this is possibly brick on the inside, if it's on the outside, it's not a big deal. But generally speaking, indoor mold, if it is indoor, and there's somebody or yourself with respiratory issues, do consider air quality test. And if the other items for cleanup or removal I mentioned don't work, then you'll have to call in somebody, a professional, for remediation. So be very, very careful with mold. You don't want to leave it. You don't want to be breathing it in. I hope in your case that it's exterior brickwork and not something on the inside, especially if it's an older home. It could be double bricked, and if you've opened up any walls, plaster walls, the brick may have mold on it. I'm not exactly sure with your question if it's indoor or outdoor. If it's outdoor, you're a bit on the safer side. If it's indoor, not as much. But again, try the bleach, try some commercially available products locally at the big box stores. If not, call in the pros and stay safe. We have another email here. Hi, Bob. I live in a condo building for 4 years, and in the last month, I have a concern of condensation on the ceiling in my bathroom while the dryer is running. I have used a 16-foot shop vac hose to vacuum out any lint buildup, but hardly anything. If I turn on the bathroom exhaust, everything is okay. I think the flapper on the outside wall could be stuck, partially closed, as it is a rubber type. I'm on the 4th floor, and the vent is approximately 40 feet the ground, but there is a concrete overhang below the vent that a ladder could be used to get on and get an extension ladder from there that can reach 30 feet to the vent. Help with any suggestions, yourself or a contractor, Mitch Pierce. Thank you so much. Now, 2 things I'm thinking in my mind here, 16 feet and 40. So right off the bat, your shop hose vac is not going to cut it. You have 40-foot length, I believe, of the ducting, and your shop vac hose is only 16 feet. So you also mentioned the flapper on the exterior side. The flapper is the first thing on my mind. Definitely the first thing on my mind, but that's something that really has to be looked at. Now, sounds like it's not something you want to take care of in a DIY manner. No worries at all. Follow up with me because I may give you 1 or 2 tips or tricks that can help you. Definitely, if you can safely get access, inspect the flapper on the outside. If you have more issues, please send me some photos because the flapper and the concrete overhang that you have, I really would like a visualization of that. Now, you can get a hold of me easily after the show. Largest database on the net, www.justaskbob.com. Again, that's www.justaskbob.com. Fill out a quick submit form under Just Ask Bob or call us at the office, and we welcome photographs. You can photograph me, send me the photos directly to the office. I will do everything I can, tips and tricks to get you to tackle that yourself. Thank you. Next email here. Bob, for exterior wood, do I really have to prime the backside of the wood? John from Hamilton. John, no cheating. Absolutely no cheating. My guys at that job in that rental footage you were watching earlier kept driving me crazy about why they got to do so many coats on every side. Moisture will get the backside. Now, when I do a job for a paying customer, I do it to the best of my ability. Absolutely no cutting corners. Now, if it's your own home and you're doing it, please do not cut corners. I can't stress this enough. Common sense, please. When you cut the crooked and overcharging contractor out of the equation, you have saved a fortune. You've won the lotto. Be smart. Take that money, reinvest it in the highest quality paint and primer. Invest your time to paint the front, the back, the top, and the bottom. Please don't cut corners when it's your own job. It will last much longer. If the back's not primed and painted and sealed, moisture will get in, and that wood could start rotting from the back through to the front. So all that high quality primer and paint you put on the side face in the sun, the rain, the sleet, the snow, doesn't matter. Doesn't mean anything if the wood starts rotting from the back through to the front. So please, it's your home. I can't force you I can tell you what to do, but I can't make you. It's your decision. I'm here to educate, line up all the options for you. You have to make the decision. But yes, please, primer paint every side It's to keep the moisture out. We have another email here. Hello, Bob. What is better, the old stucco that was concrete-based, like on your job site, or the modern styrofoam stucco finishes? Scott from Dundas. Scott, that's a great question. It's not easy to answer. I'll give you some pros and cons for both exterior finishes. Now, back in the day, stucco was concrete, period. That home, that job site footage you watched, that was a pain. I was up on the ladder. I had two Milwaukee drills clipped to my tool belt, one with a Tapcon bit to pierce the concrete, and the second one with a Robertson bit in order to sink the screws. A lot of work. Now, the concrete, it's a tank. I mean, it's going to be there forever. The problem ends up that the finishes, the paint finishes, they need maintenance over time. Now, zero insulating value. I mean, there might be 0.00 something, but essentially common sense, just about no insulating value. Now, that was historically done up until maybe 15, 20 years ago, and it's bulletproof. It's a tank. But it's not very smart. It's not very efficient. So here now we get into new technologies which are very smart, very green, very efficient, but not strong. So, you know, it's a change. It's a change. Modern stucco is styrofoam. So the styrofoam will give you approximately R5 per inch of thickness. The R is resistance. Always when talking about insulation, it's the resistance to heat transfer, to heat loss. So it starts with a board. It's board style styrofoam insulation that's attached. Then the stucco guys continue with approximately, I'm pretty sure it's three. It's 3 coats of stucco. The first 2 coats are a base, which I believe are gray. The final coat has the color blended in. Now, what's great about this is the color's blended in right to the product. So you have smart installation, energy efficient. However, the strength, it will not last as long as actual concrete. The other thing for homeowners, if you're having, yes, a tip here. If you're having a new home built in our province and you're looking at choosing between stucco and stone or brick, interestingly enough, stucco's not cheap. Stucco's pretty equal or on par with the cost of imitation stone or brick. Now, you make your decisions that way. I prefer a little bit of stucco, but up high on the gables, up high. There's a reason for this. You don't want it down low. You don't want a basketball hitting it. You don't want people bumping and leaning on it, because it does pierce, it does crack. And it's almost impossible to repair to an invisible repair. It can easily be repaired, but invisible, absolutely not. The other thing with your prospective new home, if again you're looking at that, avoid stucco very low and very light, because I've seen it permanently stained from grass. So I hope that helps. A little bit of a history lesson there on stucco. We have another email here. Oh, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Watch The Opinionators, your weekly dose of provincial and federal politics with a partisan slant. Airing Thursdays at 5:30 on Cable 14.
I am Audrey.
And I'm Leah.
Leah inspired me to play hockey. The War Amps has helped me by giving me my devices I need to play hockey.
Audrey has an amputation similar to mine.
What does yours do? The stick clicks in it.
My device from the War Amps allows me to shoot a lot better. It rotates like a wrist, which helps a lot with shooting and stick handling.
When I score a goal, I feel really happy.
Tune into The Frontline every Thursday at 8 p.m. and look into the role Hamilton Paramedic Service play in a community's healthcare. Hear what's happening within the Hamilton Fire Department and learn about the divisions and services provided to our community. and see behind the scenes in some of Hamilton Police's departments. You can catch it every Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on Cable 14.
And that is how you close a deal.
Well, it's getting late, huh? Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, I'll call you a cab. No need. I'm driving. Thanks again.
Drinking and driving should never be the elephant in the room. Share your responsible hosting tips at deflatetheelephant.com. A message from the LCBO.
Welcome back to Just Ask Bob Live. We have a preview for the upcoming episode for next week.
There's a very important thing about caulking. So, your caulking gun usually has a cutter on it and a poker. So, when you caulk your windows, you want to make sure that on the nozzle, it says the different sizes. If you cut here, that's a 1/4 inch hole. If you cut here, it's a 3/8 hole. And if you cut at the bottom, it's about a 1/2 inch hole. So we have a pretty big gap here. It's probably not a 1/2 inch. It's always better if you go a little bit smaller, because you can always apply more, but if you apply too much, then you just make a mess everywhere. So if you bring a knife, this is a trick. Cut it with the knife.
Let me get right in there, Frank.
If you cut it with the knife, you can get a nice clean cut. I like to cut it on a nice angle, up. And then if you go across, you make a nice little tip there. Make sure it's nice and flat. So when you go to apply the caulking, and you put it down across the sill, right? It'll come out the hole, and then it'll also cove it just a little bit. So it pushes it in. So it makes it easier when you come across, and you smooth out the bead.
But the tip really matters.
Yes, it's very important.
And I see you've got some palm olive here. You're doing dishes.
No, that's also a little secret. So usually, when you apply caulking, you lick your finger, and then you rub it across the caulking, because your saliva makes sure that you don't pull the caulking off. You just want to smooth it out. You don't know really what's in this, and especially on this, it says poison. Why are you going to lick your finger and then rub it on, lick your finger, rub it on? It's not smart. Use a little palm olive, rub it on your fingers though. Get it all nice and soapy, and then go across. It's a lot smarter.
Welcome back. Our show's getting near the end. Now, throughout the whole week, you can still send us your questions. Email them at askbob@cable14.com. Tweet at justaskbob. Don't call throughout the week. Only, obviously, every week on Tuesdays. That's very, very important. Everybody out there needs to know. Always get up, get off the couch, tackle your own to-do list. Now, we have an archive on our website, largest site on the net, database, www.justaskbob.com. Again, that's www.justaskbob.com. It's a teaching site. We have over 100 of these episodes from over a decade here on Cable 14. For you, the viewer, the homeowner, you can pause, fast forward, rewind. You can learn at your own pace. That's the key. In over 10 years, Bob's covered just about everything, from the foundation to the rooftop, because of you, the viewer. So pause, fast forward, rewind, and send us your questions always. Until next week, enjoy.